Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Fantasy Football Fallout. This episode is all about the Washington Redskins versus the New England Patriots. Did our analytics hit? I don't know, we'll have to see. And remember everybody, I watch every game every week trying to read through just the stat sheet. Let's get past the stat sheet, let's actually see what happened on film, and let's see if we can predict what these offenses and defenses are going to do for the rest of the season. Okay, let me start with the predictions. This one for me wasn't hard to predict. I've been a lifelong Redskins fan, although I've kind of disassociated myself with the franchise as of late. I have held season tickets to the Redskins twice in my life, and I'm a fairly young guy. I've had them on two different occasions. Dan Snyder is just wrecking this franchise. They have just fired Jay Gruden. I have a reaction video in the Underdog files and the archives and everything, but I know this team. I know this team coming in. They're usually draft kind of slower guys on defense. They have slower guys in coverage. Their past defense was tough. Now, I thought that Phillip Dorsett was going to have a huge game. He didn't play too much because I think he pulled his hamstring. I know he pulled a muscle. I think it was his hamstring. I was devastated because I picked him up off of waivers. I was going to feast on this matchup, but things happen. I did not, like I said, nothing hard. So let me tell you Tom Brady's numbers. 28 completions, 42 yards. 28, I apologize. 28 completions on 42 attempts, 348 yards, 3 touchdowns and an interception. Sony Michel, 16 attempts, 91 yards and a touchdown. James White, 6 attempts, 26 yards and a touchdown. Julian Edelman, the Redskins struggle with athletic tight ends and slot receivers. Julian Edelman, 9 targets, 8 receptions, 110 yards and a touchdown. I thought that James White would get in the end zone. He didn't. I thought if Burkhead played, he would get in the end zone. He didn't. That touchdown then analytically went to Izzo. Again, that's pretty much everything went according to plan. The only thing that messed up is that Phillip Dorsett was out on injury. I thought he was going to get in the end zone twice, have a massive game, and it just didn't pan out for me in daily fantasy and fantasy football this week because of that injury. Unfortunate, but we were dialed in. We're dialed into the Redskins defense in this show from the analytics, the touchdown predicting point of view. On the Washington side, my only prediction that I got wrong is that I thought New England was not going to give up a touchdown. They gave up a little bit of a fluky touchdown to Sims on an end around, 1 attempt, 65 yards. I think a missed tackle here and there, very uncharacteristic of New England. But Colt McCoy, 18-27, 119 yards, an interception, no touchdowns. Chris Thompson, I said if you were going to be ballsy enough to play a Redskin, you'd want to go with Thompson and maybe McLaurin. Thompson, my argument was basically Washington would be down so that they would be throwing the screen game to try to neutralize New England's tough defense. And wouldn't you know it, Chris Thompson led the team in targets, 7 targets, 5 receptions, only 17 yards. So you know what? Bill Belichick thought the same thing. They neutralized him. McLaurin, 7 targets, 3 receptions, 51 yards. Those were the 2 guys from Washington, at least the best performers outside of Sims who got the touchdown. But again, guys, this wasn't a hard one to predict. New England has an insane defense. They have the best defense they've had in decades. They have a passing game that is just – this roster is built to basically destroy Washington's defense. And then their running game, they can just kind of lean on people and run at the end of the game too. So Washington never stood a chance. I made some money betting this game. I hope some people out there did as well, even with the big line. Like I said, I would not have taken Washington plus 30 in this game. I would have lost that bet, but I would not have taken Washington plus 30 in this game. It's just this team is ill fit to compete with the New England Patriots, and they're ill to compete with anybody at this point. If Gruden was still there, I would actually favor Miami in this week's matchup, honestly, for a number of reasons, which you can catch in the preview coming up later this week. But, Washington, you have some talent, but you have just a dysfunctional organization up at the top. When your GM, and Dan Snyder likes to hire yes-men GMs, and it dates back to Vinny Serrato being their general manager, Bruce Allen now, he hires a lot of people that will blow smoke up Dan Snyder's butt, because that's what Dan Snyder likes. He likes smoke in the butt. Bruce Allen is really good at doing that. So Snyder and Allen are tight. They're loyal to each other. Well, I don't know that Allen is loyal, but he's good at keeping his job, and they blame everything on the head coaches. Now, Kyle Shanahan, who was the offensive coordinator there, he took Atlanta to a Super Bowl, and he's undefeated in San Francisco. Sean McVay, who was there, it's probably not fair, but he moved on to the LA Rams. Look, they have talented guys in the building. They chewed up and spat out Mike Shanahan. Marty Schottenheimer they fired after a year. Scott Van Pelt had a very nice segment on the one big thing. Washington fans, I'm sorry for everybody out there who's still loyal to this franchise. I'm not anymore because of Dan Snyder. I wish I could watch my team again joyfully like I did when I was younger, but Snyder has just ruined it for me. So that's why I do this betting stuff. That's why I do YouTube stuff. And you know what? I'll be honest with you. For the rest of the community here who's not a Redskins fan, it makes me better analytically because I have no bias whatsoever. I'm not anti-Redskins. I'm not pro-Redskins. I'm just not care Redskins. I'm apathetic Redskins now. Thank you, Dan Snyder, for ruining that for me. I am anti-Dan Snyder, though. I will say that. That takes me through an episode here. If you could like, subscribe, comment on our channel. If you know anybody that would like this, please share on social media. Please follow me on Twitter. I'm at TFS_Sean. That's SEAN. So it's TFS_SEAN. Watch more videos on our channel. As soon as we can become a YouTube partner, we can make these videos a little bit more interactive and add some features that we're currently unable to because our channel's too new. So please do that. Support us, and we will catch you on another episode.